Welcome in. It's Super Bowl weekend.
Bro, it doesn't even feel like Super Bowl weekend. Like, I don't know. I feel like completely removed from football.
Why?
Maybe because I'm used to there being some dumb Pro Bowl in there. And it's like, I don't know.
That would have been, I guess that would have been last week. Yeah, no, that's, I guess, not to give any type of credit to COVID for any reason, but yes, for the first time ever, there was no Pro Bowl, and the world collectively breathed a sigh of relief.
I don't know, bro. The first Pro Bowl I ever saw was the Pro Bowl where Clay Matthews murdered Pat McAfee trying to pull a Sean Taylor.
I don't even know if I saw that.
Just when Clay Matthews was just like, okay, I'm actually going to try in this game, and he racked up like 9 sacks, and he was the only guy on the field. It was fun. It was fun.
The point is, the Pro Bowl sucks.
Yes.
It'll never be good.
It's useless.
There is never any reason to watch it. And this year we didn't have to, but we do have a Super Bowl, which I'm very excited about. I don't know about you. This should be a quality game with a lot of talent on both sides of the field.
I would look more favorably on this Super Bowl if I wasn't a Bills fan who just got beat by Mahomes and then has to go and watch Brady in the Super Bowl again. So like, from my perspective, bro, this Super Bowl, it's kind of like There's some hurt feelings there. To quote Randy Johnson, it's only okay for me, dog. But like, but I'm still gonna watch.
You're obviously still gonna watch because you're a football fan, and that's what we do here. We provide the content right here on the Facemask podcast.
Boom boom.
John Alsace, Nick Payne, as always, and in the spirit of the Super Bowl. I know this is not necessarily something, this is not off-season content. This doesn't help me put anything together for 2021. Yeah, well, there's plenty of gambling degenerates out there. Yours truly included. So what we got for you today, ahead of the big game, are some prop bets with some of the ones that we like, John. So let's dive right in. I am going to go straight to, this one's a little ballsy.
Ballsy.
My favorite prop bet on this slate.
Let's go.
Travis Kelce, 100.5 receiving yards. I am taking the over because all Travis Kelce has done week in, week out this year is go for 100 yards and a touchdown seemingly every week. And on top of that, the reason I like that so much is because in the regular season matchup, the Chiefs and the Bucs played each other in the regular season. Tyreek Hill, in the regular season matchup, had 13 catches for over 250 yards and 3 scores. I think the Bucs, with that performance in mind, are going to overcorrect to a fault, maybe, to keep Tyreek Hill in check. And as a result, it's going to open things up for Travis Kelce, even though he has completely balled out this year. For the Bucs in particular, they got burned by Tyreek. So I think they are going to overcorrect this week. I think they are going to make Tyreek Hill the priority as far as who is the focal point on the Chiefs offense that we want to stop. And it's going to open things up. They're going to allow Travis Kelce to do his thing in the kind of intermediate game, even though we know Travis Kelce can kind of be any type of receiver on any given week in his own right. But I think they're going to have that Hill performance in mind, and Kelce pops.
All right, well, before I get into the prop bet side of this, I do just want to say, yeah, they just got burned by Tyreek Hill earlier in the season, and really burned at that. But if you look at just what happened in the last game that Kansas City played against the Buffalo Bills, 15 targets, 13 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was the focal point of that offense for the majority of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When the game was in contentious and when the game was in hand, he was the guy that they were going to And I think I don't know, man. Looking at what Arians has done defensively with that team, they've been really good at taking away opposing offense's best weapons. But on the opposing side of that, Travis Kelce's a wide receiver 1. We got to stop thinking of him as a tight end. Dude's basically a wide receiver 1. He might even be more of a wide receiver 1 than his own teammate, who's a wide receiver 1 in Tyreek Hill, if you put the numbers side by side. So,
do you like it?
While I disagree with you that they're gonna overcorrect, I think there's no way you stop Kelce.
No,
because he's a cheat.
He's
code.
wide open on every route that he runs, or that's what it feels like.
And they utilize him
anyway.
as such. Yeah, dude. And Mahomes is magical too. So even when he's not wide open and Mahomes is about to get murdered, he can find a way to get him the ball. So end of story. Yes, go with the over there. Travis Kelce, smash that. You'll make your winnings back.
Yeah, this is, to me, I know it's a big number, but it just feels like a layup. He's been such a monster this year. Moving on, there's a couple others that I like. Tom Brady. Right now, he's sitting at, and by the way, we're pulling these from Underdog.
Yeah, you would like Tom Brady.
You shut your mouth. Real quick, just I want to give a shout out to Underdog. They are the platform where we are pulling these bets from. They're a phenomenal website. They give all types. I should say they are a phenomenal app. They give phenomenal opportunities across the board for fantasy contests, and so they have these prop bets available to you up until game time. So feel free to download them, give them a check, give them a look. They're not even paying me to do this, so shout out to Underdog. Tom Brady, his line, 23.95 fantasy points. So just a hair under 24 total fantasy points for the game. I'm smashing the over. There's no way. You can't tell me that this Bucs offense isn't going to be throwing the entire game. I don't care if they are winning. I don't care if it's tied. I don't care if they're losing. If you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you cannot look at that Chiefs offense, whether they are on the field or not, and ever for 1 second rest on your laurels. You just cannot do it. I think this Bucs offense is going to be throwing early, often. They're going to put the ball in Brady's hands, and they're going to go say, win this game for us. Let's go get our second Super Bowl. And you, Tom Brady, let's go get your first Super Bowl outside of New England. They are going to throw the ball. I see 3 touchdowns from Tom Brady in this game, win or lose. The passing yardage subsequently comes along with that. Over 23.95 fantasy points. I think that's a lock.
His last 4 Super Bowls, 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls, he's surpassed that point total.
There you go.
The Super Bowl in 2014, he had 328 yards and 4 touchdowns. The next one in 2016, he had 466 yards and 2 touchdowns, which would get you there.
Oh yeah,
that with those yards.
Yep.
And then in the next one in 2017, 505 yards and 3 touchdowns. He absolutely reached that mark in that one. He blew it out of the water. And in 2018, he didn't get there against the Rams
in an all-time awful game.
And he didn't need to.
Right.
He didn't need to get there because the Rams kind of beat themselves in that game.
They were just putrid on offense.
But in games where Tom Brady is required to put the team on his back to win, 2014 against prime Russell Wilson, 2016 against Matt Ryan, who was on fire, MVP that year, 2017 in Philly, in what was the highest scoring Super Bowl playoff game ever to that point. And it was largely on the back of Tom Brady's 505 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, come on.
Yep.
This guy's going to blow that target out of the water. So what do you got next? What's your next one, man?
We're locking in Brady. So there's one more that I like. I'm going to throw I don't want to keep throwing overs at everybody. They're, everyone's going to think this idiot just is going to hit every over, because that doesn't happen. There's one under that it pains me a little bit, but Chris Godwin right now is at 77.5 receiving yards. That is his prop. And I know he smashed that against Green Bay. Well, he didn't smash it, but he hit it against Green Bay. I think that is an under. I think Chris Godwin does not hit 77.5 receiving yards. Now, he could totally score in this game, but I think this is a situation where the Bucs are going to utilize their entire passing offense. I think Mike Evans is in for a monster game. The Chiefs don't necessarily have a shutdown corner. Like in the past 2 playoff games,
they don't have a shutdown. They don't have a shutdown corner, but they have Tyrann Mathieu, who's the tone setter. On that defense, and he absolutely murdered the Bills last game. He was the reason why they were locked down in the secondary.
And he is a disruptor. There is no doubt. But I think the Bucs have enough weapons on offense where there are going to be one-on-one opportunities for a guy like Mike Evans, who is not going to have to face, in his last 2 playoff games, he had to go up against Marshawn Lattimore and Jair Alexander. The Chiefs don't have a cornerback at the caliber of either of those 2 guys. I think Brady leans heavily on his wide receiver 1, and this year it has been Evans. I think Evans eats in this game. And while I think Godwin is definitely primed to be involved, he's going to get his looks, he's going to get his production. But I think Rob Gronkowski is going to be involved. I think Scotty Miller is going to be. Yeah, Rob Gronkowski. I combined some names there. Blah. Antonio Brown is expected to be back from his knee injury, so that's going to take a target or 2 away, if not more. And Scotty Miller will absolutely be involved. I think there's going to be a lot of distribution of the football from this Bucs offense. Therefore, the 77.5 feels a little high for Godwin, especially when Mike Evans' number is at 68.5. So I'm fading the Godwin prop, even though that doesn't mean I don't think he can't have a good game.
Yeah, I mean, if you expect the production to be generated elsewhere, then yeah, that makes sense. I'm not gonna disagree with any of the points you made there. You got to kind of pick your poison here with who you're gonna pick an under on. You know, if you are gonna seek out an under, I think that's as good as any you're gonna find.
I mean, he's got the highest prop bet as far as receiving yards on the Bucs, and I just think Tom Brady is historically, as you know, a quarterback who distributes production as needed. And while he will rely on whoever he needs to, I think that is going to be Mike Evans this game when he doesn't have to face a Lattimore or an Alexander on the other side. I guess to play into the props, I think Mike Evans, that 68.5, that's a total that I would take the over on.
Yeah, and I'd bet he gets a touchdown. So
absolutely. I mean, both of them. Godwin could get 2 touchdowns. Let's not get it twisted. He could go like for 5 for 60 and 2 scores, something like that. 565 and 2 scores. I could totally see that. I'm not trying to say that Chris Godwin is in for a letdown. I'm that 77.5. That's a pretty high number for me to not feel comfortable enough to want to take the over on that. I would take the under.
So I want to close this out with a few 1/4 bets.
Go.
All right, Mahomes, first quarter. Will he have a touchdown pass and 127 yards?
Are those hand in hand? Like, do you have to have both in order for that to hit?
Yes.
No. First quarter, 127 passing yards.
He's done it, man.
He has, but no, not in the not against this Bucs defense has been solid. I know that their pass defense is not as strong as their run defense, but that's a lot of passing yards in 1 quarter, especially when the first quarter is kind of, that's when the teams are feeling each other out a little bit. So no, I can't take that one. No.
All right, I got one more for you then.
Okay.
Darrell Williams, 8.5 yards, longest run. negative 144.
See, that one's tough because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back and will be the starter. And Darrell Williams didn't get a ton of run against the Bills. That being said, he's absolutely a sleeper in this game to be involved. I'm not sure how much I see Le'Veon Bell seeing the field. Maybe as like a formality as a veteran, he'll get a carry or two here and there. But that takes away opportunities from Darrell Williams. That being said, 8.5 is not that much, but he is going against the Bucs defense, which they are probably the most stout against the run out of any team in the NFL this year. And Vita Vea is back. So no, I don't even think I would take that if that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire as the prop. I don't know what his longest run projection is, but I think I would take the under on that. I respect the Bucs run defense too much to feel good about the backup running back, even in an offense as excellent as the Chiefs are, to feel good about that one. I can't do it.
Yeah, and we got to remember that Darrell Williams is not a lightning bug type running back who is a change of pace guy who can come in like a Phillip Lindsay and just find a way to sneak through guys because they're tired.
Right.
This guy he's a large bruising running back.
Yeah.
He weighs a good 210 pounds, 215 pounds. This guy's a heavier guy. This guy isn't a guy that's going to come in, spell a guy, and run for 8 yards on his first carry. So no, I'm off of that too.
Yeah, I don't see it. This Bucs run defense is too good. Just to throw in, Clyde Edwards-Helaire's projection for the game, as far as the prop bet, is 32.5 yards. That's how much love this Bucs defense, this Bucs run defense is getting. And I don't know how good I feel about that.
I think it's not. I don't even think it's that. I think both of these quarterbacks are just going to air it out because they're going to want the ball in their hands and they're going to want to distribute it. And we saw Josh Allen come into the playoffs and in the Ravens game and not run the ball once in that offense.
No, he didn't.
There is a sea change happening in the NFL. Teams are more willing to, good coaching staffs especially, are more willing to put the game in the hands of their quarterbacks and not in the hands of their running backs. And that these two teams are two great examples of that trend. So yeah, we're going to see the quarterbacks rule the day. And I don't think the running backs are going to get a lot of work at all, especially considering neither of these running backs were lighting the world on fire in the NFL in the regular season in the first place. So I think we can put this one to bed. And are there any other prop bets that you have, Nick?
The only one that I'm curious about is Leonard Fournette is at 49.5 for the game, rushing yards for the game. I think that is a sneaky good for the under. Because to your point, John, I think this is the game of games. This is for all the fucking marbles. So the ball is going to be in the hands of the quarterbacks. I think people are going to have some recency bias with Leonard Fournette because he had a phenomenal run for a touchdown against the Packers in the NFC Championship game. They're going to look at that number and think he's a starting running back. That's not too bad. And guess what? If the Bucs are winning, they're going to be running. I think I would take the under on that. I'm with you. I'm not a believer in the run game for either team in this game, especially the Chiefs because of the matchup. I think I would put all of my stock in the quarterback production, and subsequently, I think the receivers are the most to benefit. So I think we're going to see a ton of air yards. Let's put it that way. I think this is going to be a game where the offenses air it out. There's going to be a lot of passing yards. There's going to be some high passing totals. I expect some more distribution among the Bucs, whereas Kansas City obviously has some elite high-end options that they will use to hone in on. But on the whole, I think there's going to be a ton of passing yards. I think we're in for a high-scoring Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be electric. I don't know about you. I can't wait. I'm just happy that the Super Bowl is here and that we were able to get to it in this crazy, wild season of the coronavirus. So enjoy the Super Bowl.